Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator. Tonight's January 5th, 2022. And tonight, you know, sometimes I think I should call this the broken record because I truly say, and they won't do their job. All environmental voices won't do their job. Reporters won't do their job. Project Veritas won't do their job. But it's all true. And I wish I could say, oh my God, look at all the good we're doing in the world. Look at the progress we made here, and we're doing so much good. We got all this achieved. Now we're on this next step. We're going to get more achieved, and look at the positive results coming out of it. But for 28 years, no one has given me that to say. This is what they've given me to say. And tonight, you know, I kind of had something else planned, but today took a couple of crazy turns. And then I saw, this was new, okay? Tips wanted. Project Veritas, who has no agenda. Okay, this is their Facebook page. Do you work inside big tech? Are you witnessing censorship like Project Veritas does to me? They are so proud to, for 2.5 years censor all environmental voices or preventing solutions frauds. Again, Project Veritas seeks certain info, which again proves Project Veritas has an agenda. Proving O'Keefe saying Project Veritas has no agenda is fraudulent. Right? Do your job. Stop being to catch a predator. Expose the entire environmental industry. But he won't. Anyways, we'll get more into that. But when we come down here, now here's another tips needed. And if you know somebody like this man that they just did an exposure about and became to catch a predator 2.0, that's not in their mission statement. That is nowhere near Project Veritas's to expose corruption mission statement. But here they are. This was 2 days ago. They're seeking this information. And then, if you scroll down a little bit further, 4 days ago, protect the children. Are you witnessing corruption inside Child Protective Services? These prove that James O'Keefe's statements, which we've all heard, and I'm going to play it for you here again, that Project Veritas has no agenda, is absolutely fraudulent. Here we go.
No, you have the audacity to say that you're for freedom of speech? I'm personally still waiting on a reply from Salesforce Legal, I don't know who that is, for an explanation as to why they specifically made a business decision not to extend their relationship with Project Veritas. As I said in the email, we are a journalism organization. I also asked, does Salesforce intend to cancel other journalism clients? You decide. Again, we are citizen journalists. We investigate all types of corruption. We pride ourselves in having no agenda. Also, contrary to popular belief, we have never and will never align ourselves with any political party. Veritas exposes the truth, period.
That's all that they do. They just expose the truth. That's all Project Veritas would think about doing. And, he brought up Salesforce Legal. And if you bother Project Veritas in thinking that they should expose an entire global industry, global voices, robbing the public blind of their donation dollars, we have to be subject to being lectured to them by them. And now we're going to have tyranny imposed upon us based on we don't have environmental solutions, which we do. They're just not allowed. This is Project Veritas's legal reply. I know I've had this in videos before, but this is important. Okay? James O'Keefe acting godlike again. But they don't even sign it. You only know it's from Project Veritas Legal from the email. And what do they tell you to do? Oh, yeah, if we decide to explore exposing an entire industry where we could take down every big name in it, every big global name in it. No, we just, exploring your case just doesn't interest us. Now, we have no agenda. Now remember that. We have no agenda. We have been absolutely, except right here, agenda. Okay? And right here, agenda. And right here, agenda. Project Veritas, regardless of all of the ridiculousness that O'Keefe states, has agendas. And here he is talking about his obligation to tipsters, just in general tipsters, not cherry picked for their agenda.
And there's so many people like this that come to us now, and I have an obligation to fight on their behalf. I'll sue people on your behalf.
Okay, he's talking about defamation there, but he has an obligation on your behalf to expose the corruption and fraud that Project Veritas has put themselves in business to. And since when are they, a cover group for Child Protective Services? This isn't really, I mean, it could be corruption and fraud, but you're kind of piggybacking on, the pedo producer happenings. This, not that this isn't, horrific what happens to kids when they're in Child Protective Services, and it truly isn't funny. But again, it's something people know. This isn't something that is news to them. Sure, maybe they can get some documents that prove so and so, prove this, prove that, some specifics, some technicalities, but I mean, who truly doesn't know the horrors that kids go through when they get put in Child Protective Services? This is Project Veritas exposing not much of anything. But if you can actually expose something the world has absolutely no idea about, where's Project Veritas? Oh, that's right. Yeah, they just in 2.5 years can't even decide, can't even care to explore, look into your case. Just even look into it, explore it, right? Why? Because this isn't their agenda. And Project Veritas has made a decision. Project Veritas has absolutely, concretely made the decision that they are giving, from Gore to Greta and everyone in between, a pass. And that goes against everything O'Keefe says he and Project Veritas are. And some more right here.
Project Veritas is truth, okay?
That's it.
We represent the truth. I run from nothing. I hide from nothing.
Oh, no, nothing. Nothing except the entire environmental industry. Yeah. Oh, and I just caught a me in here. When I listen to these videos, I'm like, wow, you say you know a lot. So sorry about that, people. And then, of course, one of the biggest fraudulent statements out of O'Keefe.
Stand behind what they say. Why would you say something and not stand behind it? I wouldn't ever say something that I'm not willing to stand behind.
Oh, nothing that he wouldn't stand behind, except they have no agenda. He runs from nothing. He hides from nothing. And a bunch of other things O'Keefe has said out there. We could go through them, but down here, O'Keefe, he actually, let me see, right here, they do a "Are you kidding me?" retracto, because politicos, Sam Stein, he was forced to delete a tweet after falsely claiming Project Veritas extorted Joe Biden over Ashley Biden's diary. So, they asked him for a statement and he deleted a tweet. And, because he said something false. Now, you know what? As I tell Project Veritas in my email tonight, Project Veritas will never force me to delete my statements of how fraudulent Project Veritas and the Kefar because Project Veritas can't. And that's the truth. That is the truth, which I'm not sure I reminded them on this post that they did here, but I have some, there's one of my tips down here, one of my statements, and yeah, we get replies and people insult me, and look at all these laughing faces. This guy actually just seems to be like a troll. I mean, does this look like a real Facebook page? No. No. He just really truly seems to be like a troll, but you wouldn't really think that Project Veritas would have trolls. You would think that Project Veritas would get trolled, but I don't know. Maybe it's one of their workers, but yeah, right down here, they love to insult me. I put out some videos and they just there's some right here, some more replies. Yeah, it's obvious I have some bizarre disdain for Project Veritas, which no, he criticizes 11 views. I'm like, well, you know what? I really only put a YouTube link out there because you have to appease Facebook, and so I do better on a couple of other channels, and I'm new, so I'm not going to get huge numbers, but I'd get, imagine the numbers I'd get if Project Veritas, did their job and exposed corruption in every environmental voice. I'd be getting huge numbers, and I wouldn't be out here talking about Project Veritas being a fraud. But Project Veritas is holding up desperately needed environmental good, and that's important. You know who else is too? Oh yeah, Project Veritas's darling, this thing here, Ivory should be heckled off the planet's what I say. And she had a great conversation with Laura Logan, who, since Laura had her little sailboat ride with James, has been refusing to expose environmental voices. And James, there is one truth, and it's just one truth, right, James? Yeah, it's just one truth. It's just one. But when you have the one environmental truth, I know I've said this before, that's why I swear I think I should call this the broken record. But this is important. And in this thing right here, I mean, she's still getting praise from Project Veritas, their number one must-see video. For what? For what? And she got a platform because she was censored, and yet the first thing she did when she went out to indie world of, being what she thinks is a journalist, the first thing she did was censor that all environmental voices are preventing solutions frauds. When you're a journalist, you don't have an agenda, you present truth. And she's always out there in interviews talking about any and all censorship is bad. She is the queen of censorship, and so isn't Laura Logan. And neither one of them will ever expose that all environmental voices are preventing solutions frauds. Even though Laura Logan's she's fearless, she has no agenda, she's not owned by anybody. But you know what? If they went out and exposed what Project Veritas won't, Project Veritas would be exposed in the process, and these two would never, ever, ever do their job if it meant that, their beloved, their idolized James O'Keefe got taken to the carpet too. But you have to like is this guy here, Brian Bingham. Okay, he says translation. This is when Project Veritas is looking for people who censor. Oh my God, you can't have censorship inside of big tech. No, just inside of Project Veritas, just inside of the news. Even though Ivy Heckler, oh my God, all censorship can't be tolerated. Oh, okay. So, but this guy's funny. He says, translation, I need accounts for claims I can't substantiate. You'll get a GoFundMe page out of it. Right? What, actually, I noticed it seemed like the past the last lady who had the CNN producer guy, she had a GoFundMe, a fundraiser, and like when I saw it, it was like maybe 30,000. I mean, this embarrassment to the word journalism here, the last time I saw it, it was $190,000 that, and she was going to use some of it to provide stories for you. I think she told that to Harrison Ford on InfoWars. Some of it, the rest of it, oh, well, it takes a lot to maintain fakeness. All of her, one time she put out a post, I'm as real as they come. And I'm like, you're as real as your fake eyelashes. And, back to this guy over here who said that I have a thing for Project Veritas, have it in for them or something. But you know what? I don't. I like everybody else don't have a problem with people being exposed, but I do have a problem with a company that says that they have no agenda, they expose everyone, right? How many times have we heard that? We expose everyone, we expose everyone, we expose everyone. No, they don't. And I know that Project Veritas is giving an entire fraudulent industry a pass, and they are holding up desperately needed global good. So anybody who knows what I know, any true whistleblower that came to Project Veritas that didn't provide them Mickey Mouse information. I remember I put out in a video that I was snarky and I sent him an email and I said, oh yeah, the next thing you know, you're gonna tell us that illegals can come and stay here. And then they had a DHS agent doing that. And it was about court cases and the like 2% of people that show up get to just keep appealing till they get the right decision, and that's like a drop in the bucket of loopholes that every illegal and invader that just wants to waltz in and destroy America, if this is not good for America. Diversity is not America's strength. It is the destruction of America. To destroy America, you have to destroy it from every angle imaginable. Financially, the Constitution, the morals, the values, the culture, the demographics. And that is what the invasion of America is about. Okay? And it's just horrific. But what they exposed was nothing in terms of the problem. Yet they could take down an entire industry, and they just, well, that's right. We saw the juvenile reply that they sent to me the other night. Right here. Oh, stop calling. So you know what? It's time to make a few phone calls. This is that number right there. Hey, Project Veritas Anonymous.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Project Veritas Anonymous. I have the text you sent me the other day. Tell me to stop calling. You delete my messages, so keep the line open for valid tips. No. You know what? You know what proves that I'm a valid tip? The fact that your lawyers will never tell me to stop stating that O'Keefe is fraudulent when he states that he doesn't have an agenda, that he exposes everybody, etc., that he would never say anything, he wouldn't stand behind, right, we've heard it, okay, and a bunch of other things, okay. Your reply is juvenile, and I do have valid tips, and it's proven by the fact that although you just posted a retracto out here this week because some guy from Politico, Sam something, had to pull something down because it wasn't accurate, I will never have to pull down stating everywhere I do publicly that Project Veritas and James O'Keefe fraudulently state that they have no agenda. You proved it 3 times this week. You looked for insiders inside of Child Protective Services. You looked for more pedo types. And censorship inside of big tech. Right, big tech censorship, not Project Veritas' censorship. No, 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 no. What happens when somebody questions Project Veritas' censorship? Oh, that's right. This number sends me a juvenile message. And you know what? For my audience, I'm keeping this short, so I got to go call your president. Okay, so that was this number right here, and now let's call the president and let's wait till we get him. Okay, we know we've been through this before, right? We've all heard this before. Oh, right, ethical society. That's their agenda, not being to catch a predator. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Their answering machine. You know, for an ethical society, we expose corruption, fraud, not to catch a predator. Okay, they're completely off base. Hey, Project Veritas president, you know, maybe you deleted this message, but the World Wide Web has access to it, and 3 times this week you put out on Facebook proving your agenda. And then you put out a retracto because, you know, some guy, Sam from Politico, said something that wasn't correct. But as I just pointed out to the juvenile who sent me this anonymous text message, because I call his number now too, his, hers, whoever, whatever juvenile sent me this message here. You know, yeah, Project Veritas put out 3 things this week that proves you have an agenda. You are looking for another, you know, pedo type. You're looking for people inside of Children Protective Services and big tech censorship. And you know what? You had a retracto. That's right, because of that Sam guy. And so he had to take down a statement. He just took it down. But you know what? You'll never get me. You'll never even come to me to say take down that O'Keefe is fraudulent, stating he has no agenda, that he would never say anything he wouldn't stand behind, you know, and everything else that O'Keefe fraudulently says about Project Veritas. So, but you know, your answering machine here is it matches your mission statement to expose waste and corruption and fraud, not to be catch a predator, not to, you know, just go after big tech censorship while overlooking your own. Why don't you look in the mirror and look at your own censorship first before you care about big tech censorship? Because you are giving an entire fraudulent industry a pass, and you are holding up so much desperately needed global good. So I try to keep things short for my audience here, but I just needed to make sure that the audience knows that I, you know, I don't ambush. I just try to get a statement, try to get Project Veritas to do their job, and you won't. So, and it's funny to you. Okay. We'll see. Hopefully, maybe a judge will change that. Okay. Yeah. We'll see about that too, because yeah, a judge, Project Veritas, they're going to take so much pleasure in, and they'll probably have a big, huge party when they get it dismissed from court. And I actually have to get the time to do it. But here, you know, I'm going to send them this email tonight. It says 3 times this week they prove they have an agenda. O'Keefe's a fraud when he says Project Veritas has no agenda, and all of his other statements here. So let's just send that, and here we are back where Project Veritas has no agenda, but is seeking these specific tips, which means that Project Veritas does have an agenda. And unfortunately for the world, for all of us who have to listen to Gore and Greta and McKibben and Oasis Crazy and everybody else, it's just so sad that Project Veritas won't do their job. Oh, but support them. Give them money. Yeah. I'd like to know who gives Project Veritas money, because whoever it is, whoever their big donors are, that's who's driving their agenda, just like CNN advertisers drive theirs. So stay tuned, people.